Not too long ago, Justin Trudeau invited a very unwelcome guest into the House of Commons that received a round of applause. New information has surfaced that while the Liberals denied knowing who this guest was, that they knew all along, and it goes a little bit deeper down the rabbit hole. Let's get into it.
Oh, yeah!
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to The Fringe. Good old Skippy, good old Justin Trudeau. I mean, what can we say about him? He likes his scandals, he likes his gifts, he likes getting into bed with money launderers from the Ukraine, but when it comes down to who he keeps his company with, certainly not his wife, unless, of course, she's getting a free vacation or some kind of benefit. But we had an incident late last year where Justin Trudeau invited Yaroslav Hunka, a former SS officer from World War II, into the House of Commons while Zelensky was here to beg for more. I mean, get our money out of taxpayer pockets to funnel and launder in the Ukraine. A standing ovation from every member in the House of Commons was given to this individual. And of course, Anthony Rota, Speaker of the House, was then ejected and lost his job, while we were told by people like Karina Gould that they had no knowledge of who this man was and that he was invited by Anthony Rota. Well, that doesn't make any sense because some new information has surfaced. New information that I want to get into, at least. Rebel News reporting on February 2nd, so this isn't an old article, ladies and gentlemen. Trudeau had invited former SS officer Yaroslav Hunka to a special event in Toronto when this was going on. Now, people would say, hey, well, Justin Trudeau doesn't personally send those invitations out. Well, his office did. So surely they must vet the people that they're inviting to their events. They must know who these people are, or else why would they just invite a random person to these events? This could really jeopardize the Prime Minister's security, because we all know after David Menzies was arrested back in back in January, just what that meant for anybody who gets in the way of the Deputy Prime Minister. Surely these kind of people can't just march up on the Prime Minister of Canada and put him at risk. They have to vet everybody who comes in. Now, Rebel News has learned that Prime Minister Justin Trudeau invited a former Nazi to a special event in Toronto amid a visit from Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky. The Right Honorable, very questionable term, Justin Trudeau, Prime Minister of Canada, is pleased to invite you to a special event, says the Office of Protocol of Canada. So it says here that on September 22nd, all House parties, Senate groups, and foreign dignitaries rose to the applaud of Yaroslav Hunka, who is 98 years old, for fighting the Russians during World War II. Which, of course, if you know your world history, that basically says they were fighting for the Nazis. The House Speaker recognized him for his supported service of the 1st Division of the Ukrainian National Army, which was the Waffen-SS, before immigrating to Canada. He's a Ukrainian hero, a Canadian hero, and we thank him for his service. You know, over the last few years, I've heard a lot of people be called Nazi, and it certainly wasn't this gentleman. Any of the Canadian heroes that I know that were called that usually were the ones who came to Ottawa in trucks and sat outside the House of Commons for 2 weeks and were then brutally stomped down by the jackboots of Justin Trudeau's corrupt police force. Those are the people that were called Nazis. So I guess, you know, Anthony Rota hit it on the head saying that a Canadian hero would be a Nazi because, well, that's what they've been calling us. In the days that followed, Canadians learned that this man fought for a voluntary Nazi parliamentary unit, forcing Rota to issue an apology and later resign from his post, which, of course, he did at the expense for keeping Justin Trudeau safe. On Friday, September 22nd, in my remarks following the address of the President of Ukraine, I recognized an individual in the gallery, he said. I have subsequently become aware of more information which causes me to regret the decision to do so. During a separate event the same day, the Office of Protocol of Canada extended an invite to Yaroslav on behalf of Trudeau. The Right Honorable honorable. I hate that they use that word because Justin Trudeau is far from it. The Right Honorable Justin Trudeau, Prime Minister of Canada, is pleased to invite you to a special event, it reads. Please confirm your attendance by replying to this email by noon on Wednesday, September 20th, 2023. Once we receive confirmation of your attendance, the formal invitation will be issued, including detailed information regarding registration and access. Now, do you remember the clips that came out of the House of Commons, or maybe you were watching Question Period the day that this information came to light, when the Conservatives, of course, were accusing the Liberals of bringing such a person into the House of Commons. And of course, Karina Gould stood up many times saying, we don't have to apologize. He was a guest of the Speaker of the House. He brought him in. We had nothing to do with this. We knew nothing of what was going on. I guess at this point, they should have some questions to answer, because if you knew nothing about this individual, why would he be invited to an event with the Prime Minister of Canada? And I might add, who sat in the Prime Minister's office waiting to come across the street to the House of Commons in order to get his heralding standing ovation as he stood in the galleries. Now, Karina Gould, of course, was caught taking a photo with Anthony Rota and this individual just minutes before he entered into the House of Commons to receive his standing ovation as well. So it's going to be interesting because I don't see any other news site, of course, other than Rebel reporting on this. And I sure hope at some point we hear from one of the Conservatives or some form of opposition questioning if they knew nothing about this man's identity, if they didn't know who he was. Why was he invited to a special event with the Prime Minister following his standing ovation in the House of Commons? It's going to be interesting to see what happens. But ladies and gentlemen, let me know what you think down below. Is this a nothing burger? Is it more going into the rabbit hole that they knew who they were dealing with? I'm convinced, I was convinced from day one, I might add, that they knew darn well who they were dealing with, because let's be honest, Justin Trudeau's done no favors for this country. He certainly doesn't love Canada by any stretch of the imagination. But let me know your comments down below and what you guys think. As always, make sure to like, share, subscribe, get this video out in the algorithm. It helps us because Justin Trudeau, of course, censors Canadian speech while applauding Nazis, I might add. So that helps us stay relevant in the YouTube algorithm by getting it out there at any time that YouTube may want to censor this content. If it's your first time here, I hope this video has earned your subscription. Make sure as you're hitting that button down below, you're also turning your bell on for notifications and joining us live this Friday for Friday Night Fringe here on the channel at 6 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Central, where we sit down and talk about everything going on in the country, everything that's happened in the week, and a little bit of back and forth with the community. It's going to be a lot of fun. I look forward to seeing each and every one of you there. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. I'll catch you on the next one.